How you doing? This is Bryce Butler at Raiders.com, here to watch Kevin Hart's premiere of Think Like a Man 2. Kevin, the Raiders are waiting, baby. We're waiting. He said, put it on him.
I used to play Little League football.
Little League football?
No, I'm lying. It's definitely a lie.
Set the scene. What's going on here tonight?
Right now we are at a screening for Think Like a Man 2. And you know, we wanted to do something different. We wanted to come to a place where I don't normally come. Y'all a little too big normally. I don't do this type of comfort.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel safe in this little space. But you know, hopefully there's a path where I can get straight out when it's time to go.
We make it happen.
Watch
for
the
you.
movie. Yeah. Big fella, how you doing, man? I want to give a big shout out to all of you Raider fans out here. I love how committed you guys are to your team. And I'll say for that, I respect you all for riding with these men for as long as y'all been riding with them. Continue to do what you do. Loyalty is important.
Thank you for joining me today at Kevin Hart's premiere of Think Like a Man 2. This is Bryce Butler at Raiders.com. I'm out.
Raider Nation, just win, baby. Kevin Hart, I'm a supporter.
About the cornerback DJ Hayden, the first-round pick a year ago. He's had nothing but bad luck since being drafted by the Raiders. And Scott Bear, you're not going to make me feel much better right now. Give me the latest on DJ Hayden and why we might not see him for a while.
Yeah, possibly up until training camp, Jim, which is a big leap from last week when Dennis Allen said, "Oh, he just rolled his ankle. No big deal. He should be back soon." And I think that he hoped that DJ Hayden's ankle problem, which is still in a walking boot, mind you, would have resolved itself by now, because at the end of his quote about DJ Hayden's injury this afternoon, he said something very poignant, which is this guy needs the work. He's still a second-year player who missed most of the offseason program as a rookie due to several injuries that actually cut his season short last year after just 8 games. This guy needs the experience. He needs the work, because this Raiders team expects him to start at outside corner in 2014. He can only do that if he can stay on the field.
All right, so not great news about DJ Hayden. Let's talk about something that could be interesting to watch for this Raiders team, and that has to do with running back Darren McFadden. He's doing something that he hasn't done in the past, at least in practices. What did you see him doing?
He was actually he was practicing to return kickoffs, Jim, and that's pretty rare because he does have a long injury history. Let's go ahead and call him injury prone because that name seems fair right now. But you also have to think that before this year, he was getting paid big time money, and he was expected to be the primary bell cow back. Now, you don't want to put guys like that at greater injury risk, but this season is a little bit different because you have Jones-Drew, you have Murray, and they want to get the most out of each one of their guys. Now, that could mean fewer carries and possibly, mind you, Jim, more kickoff returns, because I just think that we just don't know yet exactly what they're going to do during this offseason program. It's a time for experimentation, and they're trying to do more and different things with Darren McFadden.
Trying to get more out of the guy, nothing wrong with that, at least taking a look at it. Now, we all here in the Bay Area are very fond of charity work, and the 49ers and Raiders got together on Friday. But was there someone in particular who wasn't necessarily 100% backing the 49ers and the Raiders getting together?
Yeah, Raiders head coach Dennis Allen wasn't thrilled about the prospect because, Jim, while Dennis actually was very, expressive about, hey, I encourage these guys to be active with their charity work, he also said that right now during the offseason program, playing in a basketball game, especially against a rival 49ers team, that your emotions are going to be higher, and so is your inherent injury risk when you play that sport. Now, he took a big sigh of relief because the Raiders came out of that game unscathed, but beforehand, I believe on Thursday, he talked to his team and said, hey, make sure you know what you're doing, make sure you stay healthy, because, and I'm sure it's in just about every Raiders contract, that if you get hurt outside of the Raiders training program, you can lose all of your money, or at least a good chunk of it. That's a huge risk, and again, the Raiders were very happy to come out of that unscathed.
So there you have it. No injuries. That's the big piece to this puzzle. Now, we talked about one former first-round pick. Let's talk about the current first-round pick, Khalil Mack. What are veterans saying who have to line up against this guy? What are they saying about what Mack looks like on the field?
you can hear a lot of coaches talk and really, bring this guy up because that's part of their job to motivate him and make him confident. But offensive tackle Donald Penn, he's not getting paid to do that, Jim. But he was very honest in saying, when I go up against this guy, sure, we don't have pads on yet, so let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. But this guy has a great first step. He said, playing at that defensive end spot, the guy looks like a DB with how he's able to move around. Now that's high praise, and he also said that with Khalil Mack's motor, he's going to get sacks later in counts. And really, as an offensive tackle, even if you're on the same team against Khalil Mack, you always have to stay on your toes.
The Oakland Raiders looking to have some big moves in OTAs, but there's some concern over the health of James Jones. Scott Bair, CSN Bay Area. Guy is hurt in practice. What happened and where does he stand right now?
It's just a mild hamstring strain that I don't think is going to affect him for very long. As a matter of fact, he could be back out by the time the Raiders start minicamp next week. Now, this guy's going to have to be their quote-unquote number one receiver because they really don't have one, but James Jones has that leadership to guide the rest of this young core.
All right, Scott, I'm combing through these news reports out of Oakland, and I keep seeing Jerron Kreiner. With your eyes, did you see the great camp that everyone's been giving to him?
You know what? I've seen exactly what I'd heard about a couple years ago during these OTAs when there weren't any pads on. And while it sounds pretty critical, I think it's very important for him to show up later in camp once things start getting physical and once these games start happening. Because last season, he barely played despite the fact there really isn't very much experience among these pass catchers. He has big-time speed and big-time size. They're just still waiting for him to show it at the NFL level.
All right, so if James Jones is dealing with some muscle sprains, it's going to mean an opportunity for some others. Who could step up right now at that wide receiving position and really start putting themselves in the lineup?
Rod Streeter, I think, already has a starter's job lined up, but somebody that I think Raiders fans should really keep their eye on is a guy that showed some flashes of brilliance last year, and that's Andre Holmes. He's 6'4", and he's that big play downfield pass catcher that the Raiders so desperately need. And I don't want fans to think of a real burner here. I want them to think of Malcolm Floyd from San Diego, a big body pass catcher that can win balls in the air. That's the kind of guy that Andre Holmes can be.
All Oakland fans will have one eye straight on the sideline this season, whether it's going to be Derek Carr or Matt Schaub. Scott Bair, CSN Bay Area. From what you've seen thus far, I mean, is Carr pushing Schaub legitimately?
To be perfectly honest, it seems like Matt Schaub has real command of this team, and I know that it's always very tempting, especially at this point, to look towards that young, highly touted, highly drafted rookie and think, when is it going to be his time? But right now, and this is no knock on Derek Carr, he looks like a rookie in his first offseason program. He's at the number 3 spot right now, but I do think that if he continues to grind, work, and get better throughout training camp and throughout the season, I think he will improve, and I think the Raiders still hope against hope that Matt Schaub can be a functional starter for them, be a true leader, and allow Derek Carr to develop slowly. The one thing I do not think that the Raiders want is to rush Derek Carr into service too fast and wreck his confidence too early. This is a guy that they believe in long term, and they believe in developing the right way.
It's a loaded backfield in Oakland, and maybe just in initials. DMC, MJD. We got to see what they got left in the tank. Of those guys, how can you see the carries being split this season?
You know, it's going to be interesting, and I think that this is one of those training camp battles that a lot of people are going to be looking at, because you look at Jones-Drew and you think, man, he's 29, right? We all know what happens to running backs when they hit 30. It's normally a pretty rapid drop, but I think this guy, he's lost some weight, and he's a lot thinner, more compact without losing that power. I really think that he will really carry the bulk of these rushes, but the Raiders are going to run a ton. Now that means Jones-Drew will get a lot of carries, and if Darren McFadden can stay healthy and become that slashing option that can take advantage of the fact that Jones-Drew has worn down teams during the early parts of games, Darren McFadden can come in and get bigger carries as this game wears on.
Just want to take time out and say Happy Father's Day. As a father and having a father in my life who really shaped me to be the man I am today, I understand the importance of it. So God bless to all the fathers out there and continue to do the great work that you do.
I like to wish all the fathers out there a happy Father's Day, especially the Raiders fans. We hope you guys enjoy it.
Every day is Father's Day. Only one day, it's every day.
To all the fathers out there, I want to wish you a happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there from Raider Nation. Hope you guys have a great and wonderful Father's Day and enjoy yourself.
Happy Father's Day to everyone in Raider Nation, especially my father who's become the best Raider fan in the world.